Hey guys, I'm a Dimension Jumper and today I'll be reviewing Doctor Who Top Trumps, which was released for the Nintendo DS in 2008. Now, this game is basically Top Trumps, like the video game, sort of. What I mean by this is that it's basically if you're playing normal Top Trumps, like, with friends and stuff, but this is just like a game version of that. And you basically play Top Trumps, either in single player mode or multiplayer mode, but with the cards from Doctor Who from when it was rebooted back in 2005, and around 2005, I think from 2005 to around 2007, 2008, and it's got some of the characters from around that time. So you have the Doctor, the modern day Cybermen of the time, Captain Jack, the Daleks, and several other characters that were brought into the show. And what I like about this is that you can pick, or something I can't exactly remember, different characters from around that time. So the Doctor, more importantly the 10th Doctor, Captain Jack, Martha, I think it's Sylvine as well. You can play Sylvine, I think, I can't exactly remember, and various other characters from the show. And you're basically trying to beat your opponents and try and get all the cards before they get all your cards. And what I like about this is that throughout the game you can use all these different kinds of trap cards and abilities that your characters can use. So there might be a trap card that might help you gain some stats for one of your cards, or help decrease one of your opponent's card stats, and stuff like that. And for the abilities, they're all various. So, for example, for the Doctor, I think this is the only one that I remember from the game, is that he's got this ability called Time Warp. And what it does is it looks at the 3 cards that you have, or 3 or 5 cards that you have in your deck, like the first 5 or so, and you'll see which ones he has, and they'll help you get more, able to get those cards, or see how you can win those cards, because you looked at those cards while using his ability. Now, there are various levels within the game. I think there's like Earth, a satellite, I think, if I remember, and several other stages that I can't really remember because it's been that long since I've played this game. And I think it's really interesting because you get to face all of the different opponents that you see throughout the show, and you can beat them, then move on to the next one, and then I think you play the game again with a different character. I couldn't exactly remember. But also another thing that I think is quite cool is that if one of your characters you're playing as has a card that's themselves. So, for example, if I was playing as Captain Jack and I got his card, all of his stats would be raised. And I think that's quite interesting and quite like a clever way of playing the game, because if you choose a specific stat or different thing, you might win with that card, because if it's your own card, you might have, like, let's say one of your let's say Captain Jack's size is 5 foot, let's say, and then when I'm playing Captain Jack, I get his card, and then it is raised to 6 foot. And let's say my opponent has a character's height that is 5.5 in height. I would win as Captain Jack because his stats have been raised. I don't think that's his actual height. I'm just guessing because I haven't played this game in ages, and I really enjoy this game, and I think it's quite cool. Now it's time for some gameplay. So the gameplay for the game is quite simple. Before you choose or you go into a game, you can choose various different sort of ability skills stuff. So let's go with this, which is basically a character's name, but you can't see like their stats, which is like kind of useful, because then you can try and figure out which of your card stats is quite useful. And then let's go with this one, which is an energized level 1, which gains a 25 boost for random category stat. And let's go with this one, power level 1, which drains your opponent's power bar by 500 points. So I'll be going against Cyberman as the 10th Doctor. So what I like about the gameplay stuff is that you've got like a high score bar up here, and then it's like the background is set to whatever opponent you're fighting against. So for Cyberman, for example, it's like this sort of like hull of a ship sort of thing, because in the background you can kind of see some sort of engine ship thing. And what I like about this is that you can see your own card but not your opponent's, which I think is quite nice and clever, because then you have to pick a random stat out of this. So let's say I choose darkness. Oh, courage. Okay. Okay. Actually, that's quite good, because now that there are 2 cards that with a draw, because with the TARDIS it has no courage, so it basically puts the cards up here, which means is basically if I win, I get those 2 cards, but if the Cyberman wins, he gets those 2 cards. So let's go with darkness. Okay, so I just won, which means I get not only Captain Jack and the Jadoon, but I also got the cards that were here. And let's say I want to use one of my abilities now. I would then use my scanner, and I will get a Slitheen, but I can't see its stat, only its name. So let's say I want to try and that means I have to try and figure out which stat I might want to use. So let's say we'll go with darkness. Okay, the Cyberman has won now. Now it's his turn to choose a card. Okay, he's won again. And what I like about the animations for the top things is the animations of when I win or lose. So for example, if I win this card, as you can see, the Doctor's face is like kind of like happy that he won. Oh no! This is the boost I was talking about. So if I have my own card of the character that I'm playing as, the raw stats will increase, which I think is really cool and interesting. So let's go with height. So I won that card, and then let's say I want to use my other cards, or my other stats ability things. So let's go with that. Okay, so now the upgrading card stat ability has upgraded my monster thing, and let's say I wanted to use the draining power bar thing. I would then go onto here. Oh, okay, never mind. Now my own special ability is activated. So let's see which. Oh, looks like I can't use that. Okay, so I just won that card. So now let's say I want to use my ability. Now I know that the first 3 cards that the Cyberman has. So let's say I go with darkness. Oh, okay. The Cyberman has won. Now he gets to choose his own one. So you just won again. And it does like kind of go back and forth sometimes. And it does go on for a bit. So I just won that card. And let's say I want to use my own ability, or the final card I have. And now the Cyberman's card has gone down 500 points so that he can't use his ability, which upgrades all of his stats. So let's say I want to go for height. Okay, so the Cyberman has won. Now it's time to go back to the view. So for the time when this game was released, I think this was quite a good game, because I do remember playing it a lot when I was younger, and I feel like it was a cool game to like kind of distract me for a while, and just make me like just take my mind off things when I wasn't playing like the other games. But I do really enjoy this game. I feel like there are a lot better games that have been released since then that can easily distract myself from everything that is around me and stuff like that. But for the time, I do remember enjoying this game a lot. I think it was probably one of the best games that I remember playing when I was younger. But yeah, I think there are a lot of cool things about it. Like for example, when you're not playing like against an opponent or one of your friends, you can do these like sort of quiz things where basically you get a card with a random character on it, and it might say, what's the height of the specific character, or what's the intelligence, or whatever. And I feel like that's quite cool because you had the card and they all have the stats removed, so they've all got question marks next to them, and you don't know which ones, and you have to figure out how big or small their height is, or how intelligent they are, that sort of stuff. And I think that's quite interesting. So yeah, I think so. For my final verdict for this game, I think it's quite interesting. For the time, I think it was a nice game that I could play for a while, for like an hour or two, and it was quite interesting. So yeah, so that's been my review for Doctor Who Top Trumps. I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.